Hey, core reporters, welcome back to my channel. Listen, I am only up to episode 5 now that they just dropped those new episodes of Love is Blind, but this has been bothering me for so long that I just have to talk about it with you as I continue to watch the new batch of episodes that dropped. I'm only missing 2. I think they dropped another 3. This has been bothering me, you guys, since the beginning, but it really feels as though Cole, the 26-year-old divorcee, really gets off on negging his fiancee Zanab, who already is a very insecure woman as it is. And I am going to make a separate video about that. Don't even worry. But I think Cole's behavior with her is extremely toxic and borderline sadistic, if not sadistic. Like, there's so many instances of him going out of his way, even subtly, to make her feel as though she's not good enough for him. Like, I remember their first night together in like the love pod or whatever, after getting engaged, she takes off her makeup, she washes her face, and unprovoked, he tells her that she looks like a completely different person without her makeup. And typically women feel as though we're more beautiful with makeup. So if someone were to tell me that I look like a completely different person without makeup and didn't follow it up by saying that, you look better or you look more, you know what I mean? Like, I would take that as a negative comment, okay? Because makeup is meant to make you look better, look like you, but better. So if someone says you look completely different and just leaves it at that, in my opinion, they want you to feel insecure. They want you to feel as though you need makeup to be beautiful. And for Cole to start off their engagement like that, already was a red flag to me. And it just kept on building from there. I almost want to say spiraling from there, because to me, building has a positive connotation, and that's not at all what this is to me, right? So not only does she tell her that she looks like a completely different person without her makeup, he says, oh, like, look at all these freckles, basically. And again, people who have freckles typically, well, not typically, but there's a good portion of them who can be insecure by their freckles. And, for him to point that out as well without like complimenting them, again, to me, felt like a deliberate slight to make her feel insecure, ugly, not good enough for him. And I don't like that. I think that Cole is a very shady person who hides behind this goofy frat boy persona, but I think he's got a lot of very toxic tendencies, and I hope that Zanab does not marry this man. Did you notice that after that she started like really desperately seeking his validation, needing to hear that he considered her beautiful, because he really let her know off the bat that that is not how he feels about her. And so she would ask him, like, what do you mean by these comments? Like, do I look good to you? Blah, blah, blah. And it took him a really long time to even say that. Like, he would just like purposely be withholding compliments from her, which I find very toxic. Don't even bring up someone's appearance at all if you're not willing to, if it's not to compliment them. You know what I mean? That's my kind of motto. Like, it's just weird. What's the point of observing that you look different without your makeup? Oh, or you have freckles, without following it up with a compliment? I find that shady behavior. I don't like it. So that was in episode 3 when they finally met each other. And then as we move forward to episode 4, here we go. Zanab tells him that they've been having a really like great moment together. And he goes, yeah, it's been good. And listen, we all know there's a difference between good and great. Great is better than good. And Zanab, again, she is insecure. She is a little bit exhausting. And I will be making a video about that. But she asked Cole, well, why are you saying that it's only good and not great? And so they launch into this kind of like dispute over the semantics of good versus great, when he's trying to convince her that good is pretty much the same thing as great, especially when you say very, very good or something like that, which to me is like, why don't you just tell this woman that it was great? Because that's very obviously what she needs to hear. And if you feel like it was great and that that she doesn't perceive good as good as great, why not just tell her it's great? It's not going to cost you anything. It's not going to hurt you to do that for her. You know what I mean? Like, I really did not like that. Yeah, I it just kept on kind of like mounting with him. It kind of kept on kind of building up with him, and I just was not really feeling it. And then when you get into episode 5, the last episode that I watched, here we go. So they have that little pool thing where all the couples kind of split off, and the people talk to other people that they match with in the pods about how they feel about seeing them in real life or whatnot. Those are very obviously producer driven scenes because they want to know how their feelings have evolved since meeting other people. And I like those scenes, okay? But then at a certain point, this time it wasn't actually even Zanab who was thirsting for validation. It was actually Cole who asks her, what does he say? He's like, okay, now that you've seen like all the other guys, are you having any doubts or anything like that? Is there anyone else that you feel like you would have been open to connecting with or being engaged to or whatever? And then Zanab tells him that she had no like second thoughts or anything like that. She's still all about him. And so she returns the question to him, asking him the same thing. Now that you've seen all the other women, is there anyone else? Like, are you having second doubts like about it? And so what does Cole do? Cole, who loves to neg Zanab, he deliberately takes a long pause. He goes, well, just I don't like it. It was very, very toxic. And he really like, what was he doing? He was like taking a bite of his fruit, like all slowly and stuff, all pensively, even though we know he's not thinking about nothing, but how to make this girl feel bad about herself. And so he says no, but if you listen carefully to why he says no, you catch a little bit of the seed of doubt that he wanted to plant into Zanab's mind. So he says he wouldn't want to be with Raven. I think he said like she's too crazy or something like that. I don't remember. And then like other girls, other reasons why they wouldn't be a match. And then with Colleen, the only reason that he says for why he would not want to be with her is because Colleen is happily with Matt. Not because there's a quality of Colleen's that he doesn't like. It's because she's happily with someone else. And so again, I felt like that was a deliberate dig at Zanab to make her feel like, well, if Colleen left Matt, would Cole leave me for Colleen, and I didn't like it. So he then tells Zanab that the majority of his exes look more like Colleen, which is a huge dig in my opinion, because Zanab, we're not yet sure what her ethnicity or races or whatever. I'm assuming she's Persian. So I feel like from that perspective, that might kind of like hurt her. And then he says that she's up his alley more than Colleen is personality wise, very heavy emphasis on personality. So we know that he's a lot more physically attracted to Colleen. And he has this conversation with Alexa where he very openly, readily, and quickly tells her that he's more naturally attracted to Colleen and that he has to work to be attracted to Zanab. And listen, he's watched the show. He knows that the girls talk. And so obviously, I feel like Alexa, she's a good friend. She would go back and warn Zanab about it. Like, listen, this man does not deserve you. He is way too open, ready, willing, and able to talk crap about you and hype up the next girl. I felt like he was kind of planting seeds so that the girls can gossip and, he can get out of marrying Zanab. It really felt like. And then, oh my God, this is where things got really bad. So at the end of the episode, he's in bed with Zanab and she's upset because Zanab asked Cole to rate her on a scale of 1 to 10. Again, Zanab, very insecure, very childish. And I am making another video about this because I can already preemptively hear you guys tapping away at how as Zanab contributes to XYZ, she's got all like, yes, I know, I acknowledge this is not a video about Zanab. I will have a video about Zanab, but right now we're talking about Cole and Cole's toxic tendencies, okay? Let's stay on subject. Let's stay on topic. Zanab was childish to ask her fiance, as a grown-ass woman, to rate her on a scale of 1 to 10. However, Cole very purposely threw shade at her by telling her that he considers her a 9 out of 10. And then responding when she asked if there were any women that he considered to be a 10 out of 10, he goes, well, there's Raven and there's Colleen. Horrible thing to say. He knew it was a horrible thing to say, and he still deliberately said it, Not a fan of that at all. I really hope she runs in the other direction, works on herself, and then considers dating again down the line. And so they have this like big conversation about like why he would only rate her a 9, but the other girls a 10. And it was just a mess. And like, he just kept calling Colleen hot through that conversation. He called her hot like minimum 10 times. I was like, dude, you're talking to your fiance. This is so gross. This is so weird. What are you doing? But again, I think he gets a lot of pleasure from that. Like, he wants Zanab to keep him on this pedestal, who wants Zanab to feel like he's too good for her, and I think that that's how he feels good and secure in a relationship by making his partner feel less than. And I consider that to be unhealthy. I consider that to be toxic. And I really, really hope that Zanab doesn't marry him. Again, I hope that she takes the time to work on herself, get some therapy so that she can build up her self-esteem before moving on and finding another partner. This is just not good. Recipe for disaster. I have to ask, did anyone else kind of feel like over the episodes that we've watched of the show that Cole really gets off on negging Zanab? Like he kind of goes out of his way to make her feel insecure. I feel like he could have just told her that she was a 10 out of 10 and that, you know, if he was attracted to other women, he could have also said that they were also 10 out of 10s. But for him to say, you're a 9 out of 10 and these two other girls are 10 out of 10s, so freaking disrespectful. And then for him to say that the only reason that he's not interested in Colleen is because she's happy with her fiance, so disrespectful. For him to talk to another girl from the pods, like, you know, an experiment friend of Zanab's, saying that, you know, he has to work to be physically attracted to Zanab because she's not at all his usual type. So freaking disrespectful. I think he knows that that will get back to Zanab. One thing I have to point out was just looking at how sad and defeated and broken and hurt Zanab looked in that bed just made me so sad. That's one thing that I don't love about dating reality shows is that, and I'm sorry, but like it's typically the men. I find like you just see them breaking down the self-esteem of women so bad. Like the women just look so broken and hurt and damaged by the end of these experiments a lot of times. And it just makes me sad to watch that, you know, like it's never fun to see someone go from being so lively and bubbly and happy and confident. Not that Zanab was super confident, but seeing them turn into a shell of their former selves. It really sucks. And I want to know if you guys feel the same way, if you've been noticing the same things as well. Let me know everything that you've been noticing about this particular dynamic in the comment section down below. And as usual, we'll chat. Stay tuned for more deep dive character analyses as well. Okay, make sure to subscribe if you haven't already for more videos. That's all for now. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.